How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. After completely transforming their team during free agency, one thing has become very clear: the Lakers are deep. But exactly how deep are they, and could it eventually become a problem for them? We'll talk about all of that in today's video and try to answer those difficult questions. And to begin, we need to acknowledge that they somehow do not even have a complete team yet. They currently have 13 players under guarantee contracts, with room for 2 more. And while they have been linked to probably 10 or more different free agents who could fill their 2 remaining spots, we cannot be certain who they will end up choosing, nor do we know when they will actually complete their roster either. All of that is yet to be determined, but what we do know is that even with only 13 players, they are still one of, if not the deepest team in the entire NBA. But with all of that talent, there are only so many minutes to go around, and many believe that is where they will encounter problems. However, it is a good problem to have, and one that can definitely be figured out. I would agree that it will be a challenge, especially during the early part of the year, but I do think they will learn how to solve it. In fact, I think they have already taken every precaution that they can to prevent it from becoming a problem eventually. If you have been paying attention to what practically every new Laker edition has been saying during their introductory interviews, they have made it very clear that they all joined the team knowing that they are not guaranteed any certain amount of playing time or any particular role. And they have all made it known that they are completely okay with that too, with a majority of their team being made up of veteran players who want to compete for a championship. They will all be willing to sacrifice playing time if needed. They've made it clear that they will do whatever is required of them to help the team win, and if we're being honest here, many of them probably would not mind a little bit of extra time off anyways. They all want to get through the year healthy, and to do that, they cannot afford to overexert their bodies. And that is where the depth of their team, along with their young players, will help them get through the year healthy. I would not be surprised if every once in a while, they gave one of their veteran players a game off to rest. They have the depth to do it, so why not take full advantage of it? And not only do they have a lot of depth, but they have it at every position too. They have multiple players who are capable of playing at more than one position. For example, they have 4 or 5 players alone who are capable of handling point guard duties. And overall, they have a great blend of veteran talent and youthful energy to help them get through the year. Picking up Kendrick Nunn and Malik Monk, along with retaining Talen Horton-Tucker, was huge for them in my opinion. They will help keep the team energized through a long 82-game season. And oftentimes, they will likely be given a larger role than expected. If I am correct about the Lakers potentially resting their veteran players here and there, or at the very least trying to limit their minutes, the young guys will have more opportunities, and under the leadership of their veteran players, they could be in a great position to flourish. Because not only are their young players getting the opportunity to play for a championship contender, but they are getting to learn from some all-time great players too. You cannot tell me that a young point guard like Kendrick Nunn, or even a combo guard like THT or Malik Monk would not benefit from learning from LeBron James and Rajon Rondo. Both of Kendrick Nunn and Malik Monk even made it very clear that learning from players like them was a big factor in their decision to join the Lakers, and neither one of Rondo nor LeBron will mind giving up minutes if the young guys are playing well either. And to be fair, Rondo will likely be playing to a limited role anyways, which tells you about how much depth they really have. But in general, I don't think any of their veteran players will mind giving up minutes. Sure, they all have pride and want to play, but they also want to get through the year healthy. And while I'm not overly concerned about their health, as practically all of their veteran players have actually been insanely durable for their age, having the ability to get more rest will definitely benefit them. You can never predict when injuries might happen, but taking every precaution to prevent them is never a bad idea. And having an incredible amount of team depth is one of the best ways for them to do that. It is a luxury that not many teams have, but one that the Lakers clearly do. Figuring out individual roles and their overall rotation might be difficult, but finding capable guys to play will never be an issue. Frank Vogel will have the luxury of being able to look over to his bench and see multiple players who he can put into the game at any moment, and whether it is a veteran player or a young player, they have a team full of proven NBA talent. And because of their willingness to play into whatever role is given to them, I do not believe anyone will have a problem with minutes. That is a problem that they learned from last year, and I guarantee they did not promise anyone a certain role this year. Because if you don't remember, they made that mistake twice with Dennis Schroeder and Andre Drummond. After trading for Schroeder, they promised him the starting point guard role on their team, and well, we all know how that turned out. Even though he was not horrible, he clearly would have been a better fit off the bench for them in my opinion. Them promising him that role was really the beginning of the problems that they created for themselves, because they did again shortly after that with Andre Drummond. And I mean, I get it. When a former All-Star who is still in the prime of his career becomes available through the buyout market and would seem to be a good fit for your team, you do everything that you can to try and get him. But at the end of the day, promising a role to a player that might later cause problems on your team is never a good idea. And that is exactly what happened, because although they were fine letting Drummond start when Anthony Davis was recovering from injury, everything changed when he came back. They were unable to build the chemistry needed to play on the court together, and it became blatantly obvious during the playoffs. And overall, I think they learned their lesson from doing that. It caused a big rift between Frank Vogel and Andre Drummond, Montrezl Harrell, and Marc Gasol. They will not be guaranteeing any roles in the future. Rather, they want to preach willingness to play into whatever role is required to help the team win. We can even confirm that from a direct quote from Kent Bazemore. He said that Frank Vogel and the Lakers would not guarantee him a role, but he's excited to earn every minute that he gets, and that is the mindset that they need every one of their players to have. On a team loaded with depth and different types of talent, they each need to understand that there will be games when they might get to play more, and then other games when they might get to play less. It all comes down to the matchup, and with whoever is available to play in that particular game. In conclusion though, I personally do not believe that their depth will become an issue for them. If anything, it is a good problem to have, and one that I believe they will figure out eventually, and I believe they learned from the mistake that they made last year, and they will not make it again. But what do you guys think? Do you think their depth will become a problem for them again, or do you believe they learned from their mistake and will find a way to utilize all of their players in the correct way? Let me know your thoughts by commenting down below and we can talk about it there. That will do it for this video though. Thank you to everyone who took the time to watch until the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please remember to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and turn on notifications to get notified right away when I drop a new video. If you want to stay up to date on all my immediate thoughts moves around the NBA, be sure to follow me on Twitter too. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day.